There's gonna be an interesting topic about when you sold off something that you used to love. Like it can be. Did you sell off something that you remember? I don't know. It could have been like a bike or a car or or something that you just. And it wasn't even about necessarily that you were going to a pawn shop or nothing to because you needed money. You just got unloaded. Got me thinking about it because there was a time I was just thinking about having this conversation. It was just talking talking to a buddy about music in the streets. Just talking about, yeah, do you remember I had a big old record collection and and had all these, you had all these records and 45s and tapes and you had the posters and you had the pictorials with it. And you just sitting there reminiscing, thinking like, wow, what happened to it? And you think sometimes to yourself, you had those days where you were just reminiscing about how good it felt, how good some things were, um, and how it came to be. It's like, you were like, thinking like, oh, how you'd save that money. You remember when you bought something? That was like the freshest thing. That was like the most happening thing. And it seems just like yesterday, but then life doesn't happen. With BIE technology and everything like that. It'd also be like if you had like bought remember buying your old computers or just the things that you used to have and how it seemed to be something that you thought was going to be forever and ever. Like you got memories of it until you unload it. It's just very telling of how those things come and go, like they're in your possession, but then they don't quite hit the same. Technology's done an incredible job of taking it away, but then also, time goes on, you might not wear the certain clothes no more. You might not, it's just not the same person no more. Sometimes people we get caught romanticizing certain moments in time. Some people are able to hang on, keep a collection. I'm always amazed when I see people who have these large record collections or movie collections and stuff like that. Because I used to do that. I still got books and stuff, but in days and times with streaming and listening to stuff, anybody got time to go there? Because there's no more record stores no more. It's not the same no more, and it don't hit like that. And I don't really sit there in that kind of space like I once was. But I understand it. But it's just something like, what are you collecting of that you find yourself that you no longer needed and that you moved on from? And how did you feel? Think about it in hindsight. Now, it could be anything. Sometimes I know people who had hats because I still keep a pretty good collection. Used to have more hats, but there was more. Imagine if you had all that stuff back and you could compartmentalize into a big old house or a big old closet or something. Would you still care about it? Like if you brought all your albums back, all your books back, all your shirts back, all your slacks back, and your shoes, would you still feel the need to still have them? Or well, that's just a moment in time. Because sometimes we get caught thinking like, oh, I sure spent a lot of money on this. I spent a lot of money on that. And it don't hit like it used to. It don't hit no more the same. It must be nice to sometimes just reflect on that and you just not even look at it like it once was because time has moved on. Time has told you that it's just not something that I would want to partake in no more. I just really couldn't see myself with that. And then you start to compartmentalize that you realize that that's just not something that is of the essence. It's just not something that is a necessity. It's not really something that you feel like engaging in. So got me thinking like, okay. And then you think to yourself, if I had to save that money, because I know some people I know who didn't hardly buy nothing and they saved a lot of money. And technology definitely, it's funny, if you grew up in a certain time period and you come along now, you feel kind of, some of it, I felt kind of like I sure spent a lot of money on stuff that you can only listen to it once, you can only wear it once, and you might only read that book once. But you got hyped at the time. It was almost felt like the world was coming to an end and you just wanted to have that in your possession. It's like, I just want that. I can't imagine that. Um, we've been there. We've been there with so many things and so many intricacies that you just felt like you just had to have, and then it doesn't seem to be that. I don't know. Your world changes as time goes on. Your maturation changes. Your wants, your needs, your intake is so different, and so sometimes it's just a matter of what you reveal in itself, what your mind psychic tells you, you know. So it got me it definitely got my attention about that. But I love hearing people talk about the things they used to have in abundance and they no longer want to collect. You know, just like if you some people had china where they had a whole lot of plates and dishes and they thought the glasses and stuff and they thought, well, you know what, this was imported and you know, and or shoes or boots or stuff, and then happens one day it just doesn't hit like it once did, you know. So makes you wonder, but then does it really make you wonder? You know, you got to kind of ask yourself, like, would I be good if I didn't have all that? You know, so um I always like to hear people's stories about that because there are people who bought a lot of stuff. Sometimes they just had something that they really like and they hung on to it forever, but there's sometimes you just, you know, but again, couldn't imagine having an oversized computer no more because that was too big, or a keyboard was too big. You know, like you'd have certain things that just don't really feel right no more. And they represent a time and a place, but they don't really seem to be functioning. It's also sometimes some things just don't really function like they did. So imagine you bought all those videotapes or DVDs or Blu-rays or something, and it just doesn't really speak to you no more. And you have that luxury sometimes to just kind of get rid of it and say, I really don't need it because it makes my life an access, and I really don't want to go through all that. So if you've been through that, I'd like to hear the reflection of it. Because do you think it was a spiritual cleansing too? To unload stuff? Was it like something that you just woke up one day and said, you know, I can't do this. I want to, but I can't. I think about it, but I can't no more. You know, it's like, did your light bulb go off on you? So just thought I'd reflect on that. You know, just sometimes you just have those moments where you are kind of like in a time where you're thinking, why there's more room, and you really don't feel the need to fill every space up. You don't really have to do that no more. So it's just a moment to have that conversation, a moment to kind of walk that walk, talk that talk, and read that particular area of where you were, who you were, and where you are now. Because I think that's kind of like what's very helpful about everything to, you know, detail those manners and those visions and those times and those truths. So um, it definitely got my attention to just reflect. Just thinking about it, looking at I had some old pictures and I saw some old pictures of I said, I used to have that. But then it's like, I don't even miss it no more. You know, really, it's like another life ago. It's almost like it just vanished in the wind and it went on its way. So just thought I would talk about that for a moment. But anyway, tell me what you think. Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share the video if you want to. And also, please hit that membership because the request videos that you make, I will get them to you. And I do take different takes on different thoughts. I welcome it all. It is a pretty good thing to just kind of, you know, get into the semantics of it and how it feels. So thank you for listening and looking forward to hearing from you. And if you can relate to anything in the video, feel free to share because I really do believe that it is a necessity to how you got to go through things to process them and how they fit. All right, I'm out one time. Peace.